Neighbors are excited at this year's Night to Unite. We'll tell you why they're gushing over the community of White Bear Lake.
Kids across the state head back to school this month. We'll tell you how to keep your kids safe and focused.
Hi, I'm Tracy Minarchuk.
And I'm Ron Hawkins. Welcome to Lake Area Beat. So how are you doing, Tracy?
I'm doing well, and how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, did anybody bring up last month's episode to you? That was the one where you were riding along in the squad car and ended up in the back seat?
Yeah, actually, I had a few people just kind of general comments about the show. They thought it was a pretty good show. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I actually had a bunch of people comment about one particular thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What would that be?
Well, they wanted to know why I let you out, and if I did, or if I just left you in the back.
Very funny.
It's true.
And speaking of squad car rides, it sounds like you had some interesting passengers in your squad.
Yeah, we've had a run of some interesting wildlife lately in our squad cars and personal cars we've had to transport. Just recently, we had a red-tailed hawk that had to be captured and brought into the Raptor Center to be taken care of. Before that, it was a fox that had to be taken into the Wildlife Center. And before that, we had a reptile. And that was in my car. So each one of us...
In your personal car?
In my personal car, yeah. So we've had a little bit of everything kind of being taken care of as police officers as part of our job. So
I wonder what's next on the list. Maybe a bear
No, don't
cub
ask,
or
because it's
something.
been every single week for 3 weeks. So yeah, I don't know.
No.
I hope not bear cubs, because they would probably tear apart the squad car, and that would be not
good.
No. Well, this past year has been a hard one for law enforcement across the country, with racial tensions taking their toll in areas and some unfavorable perceptions of police. Building relationships with community has never been more important.
The good news is Lake Area Beat's production crew, the folks that cover Night to Unite every year, say more than ever residents were communicating their overwhelming support for our city's police and fire professionals. Here's what some of them had to say.
It's like when you have your family get together in the backyard kind of a thing. You got all your relatives sitting around and you're having a great old time. Well, here it's the same concept, except it's the entire neighborhood.
Kevin O'Connor, a longtime White Bear Lake resident, never passes up the opportunity to get to know his neighbors.
My grandkids and I went around from house to house.
Though he says he's lived in other cities over the years, none has had the tight-knit feel quite like White Bear Lake.
I have a mother who has Parkinson's, and the rescue people have been to her house a couple of times, and they know her by name, they know her by face, and she knows them as well. There's that, they're not just somebody in a uniform doing their job. They're your neighbors, they're your friends, and they're the people that you live with as well. And that's really nice about White Bear, is that community is there.
White Bear Lake Fire and Police fanned out and visited each of the dozens of parties held in the city during the annual Night to Unite, talking shop,
We can look at this.
and taking snapshots with the men and women in blue.
This is a fun community. We're so glad to be here on Night to Unite. This is my third year doing this. I love it. I love it when they come out, and it's really a public service.
Amanda Morrison is the community manager at this complex. She says a White Bear Lake firefighter lives in her building, and residents see firsthand his call to action. And in addition to fire rescue, she appreciates the time firefighters take to educate the city's youth.
They imprint on the kids a little bit about, we're here, we're the good guys and gals, so we like to see them here. And If the police officer happens to stop in during the day, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, something to be afraid of.
During Night to Unite, residents also reinforce their ties with neighbors to ensure that safety is not left to just police, but that they may rely on each other.
If I'm going out of town, I can call my neighbor Kevin and say, hey, just keep an eye on my house, and he'll do that.
And by knowing each other and the police and fire people who serve and protect, residents say White Bear Lake truly feels like family.
So, how did things go for Night to Unite?
Well, as you know, if people watch every year, they know that I encourage my picnics to cheer for me. And it's always one, but now I have 2 picnics that cheer for me.
Oh, yeah. And when you say cheer for you, what do you mean?
Well, when I drive down the street, yes, they do.
Trace.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You're just jealous.
That's
you know you're jealous.
funny.
Yeah, because actually at one of the picnics, the fire department was ahead of me, and they just quietly left as they cheered for my arrival.
Oh my gosh.
So I like them and they like me, and they're a lot of fun.
That's funny.
They're very funny.
And the community of White Bear Lake is just great. All the different neighborhoods.
And I'm sure other picnics would cheer too if they knew that there was this kind of, competition.
Yeah.
Maybe for next year we can see who cheers the best.
All right.
Kids are heading back to school. We'll have some helpful information for parents and kids coming up after the break. But first,
here's Sergeant John Vette with a safe and easy way to save big money.
Hey everyone, Sergeant John Vette here with a tip that can save lives and money. Did you know that it can now cost you an additional $225 if you text while driving? It's against the law to read, compose, or send texts and emails and access the web while behind the wheel. The current law, established in 2010, costs violators $50 plus court fees. Since 2010, citations for texting and driving have gone up nearly 300%. Under the new enhanced law, drivers face $225 for second and subsequent violations. Distracted drivers are responsible for 19% of all traffic fatalities. Many of us are on the go. We're all trying to juggle many jobs, but next time you pick up your phone behind the wheel, ask yourself, is reading or sending a text really worth killing someone? Let's work together to keep our roads safe. I'm John Vette. I'll see you next time.
This month, I'm pleased to welcome Shyle Nelson, a senior loan officer with TCM Certified Development Company. The TCM Certified Development Company has helped businesses in the White Bear area secure millions of dollars in Small Business Administration sponsored loans. You will learn about several of these specialty small business loan programs and their impact on the local business community. All on Your Business Matters. Please join me.
welcome back. Sergeant John Vette joins us with some back-to-school safety information. And John, we just heard from you in our monthly safety tip, so thank you for helping us out again in this segment.
Oh, you're welcome.
Here live.
It's great to be here.
So let's talk about school safety. What do you think are some of the primary concerns that parents have when their kids head out to school?
Well, parents are used to their children being with them and being able to watch them and take care for them. Obviously, the child goes to a school and they're gone all day. You just want your child to be safe. Generally speaking, in addition to being safe, parents are concerned about issues such as bullying. They want their student to be able to succeed and feel comfortable in a safe environment and know that the school is doing everything they can to make that school as safe as possible. God forbid something like a school shooting or something terrible happens, they want to know that schools are prepared and are able to deal with anything that would jeopardize their son or daughter's safety. So I think that's what has parents on their mind, and knowing that the school has taken a lot of steps, knowing that the police department is involved with the school district is really important to ensuring safety for everybody.
And really, you know, you would hope that the focus would be on learning and making connections with friends and things like that. And unfortunately, you know, concern for safety is an issue. How about, you had mentioned bullying. What are some, maybe some basic things on how to address bullying? Say your kid comes home from school and you kind of get a sense that maybe they're being picked on.
Sure. Well, parents have to have communication with their children up front. They need to have those conversations in that relationship so that a child knows that it's safe and okay for them to come forward to their parent and tell them about bullying. Additionally, it has to be reported to somebody, a trusted adult, whether it's a parent contacting the school district or a teacher, or the child telling the teacher directly themselves, or a school counselor or administrator. Reporting is what gets the ball rolling to make sure that the bullying stops, that it gets addressed, and that restore the child's faith in going back to school and being in that safe environment. Because the school district and the police school resource officers won't tolerate bullying, and they will deal with it in order to get it to stop and make sure it's a safe environment for everybody.
And in this age of technology, that bullying doesn't stop at the school, unfortunately, with social media and electronic devices.
Absolutely.
You want to talk a little bit about how to protect your kids with that aspect of it? It's different maybe than when the parents went to school for their kids.
Well, and me and you went to school, Tracy, and when Ron went to school way before that.
Back in the 1900s.
You know, the atmosphere was different. A child could get bullied and it ended at the end of the school day. But like you mentioned, texting, social media, Snapchat, Facebook, ways it carries into the weekend, and that can really make a child feel uneasy, uncomfortable, and they don't want to go to school, you know, come Monday morning. So parents need to have the conversations with their children, you know what their children are on, what kind of websites they're on, and be good role models. Let them know that it's not okay to bully other children, you know, and if you are the victim of a bully, to come forward and report that information, like I mentioned, so that we can do everything we can to get it to stop. The day and age where you tell parents that, you know, they can restrict their children from being online is kind of over. They're going to be on some sort of a social media site or some kind of a phone app, and they're going to be communicating with each other. So we also teach internet safety to the school district. Every incoming 6th grader in the White Bear Lake School District is presented to, and that's coming up here in September, where myself and the school resource officer at each school are going to present to the children on how to be responsible online, how to have good relationships with others, and the consequences of bullying.
You also do parent safety, just strictly for parents, about internet and kind of media and technology. And then what other resources do the police department have for parents, or what other resources are out there for parents about that sort of
as you mentioned, we have a parent safety night, which is every year in November. That's coming up. There'll be more information on our website, on our Facebook page about that. In addition, we recommend parents get online. There's the website netsmarts.org. It's spelled smarts with a Z.org. They have tons of information, and they're basically funded through the Department of Justice. And there's videos that parents can watch. They can watch with their children, and they really address the issue of online safety and bullying. But if parents ever have a question, they're more than welcome to stop at our police station or give us a call. We're more than willing to give parents some advice on how to deal with some of those bullying issues, as well as the school resource officers that are assigned to the schools.
And maybe shifting gears a little bit, but still kind of staying on the topic of safety, school bus safety. What is kind of the main safety concerns kids have as far as riding the school bus?
Well, a lot of accidents happen when kids get on or off the bus, if it's going to involve a school bus, I should say. The biggest thing parents need to do is make sure their kids get on safely, and drivers, you need to follow those school stop arm. Parents need to follow the traffic rules, and they need to stop for a school stop arm that comes out from a school bus. There's very heavy penalties if you drive around those, and it makes it very dangerous when kids are getting on or off the bus.
Yeah, even if there's another lane, that stop arm's out, you're not going around them in the other lane because
right.
a kid may be darting out.
And you have to give several feet of distance on both sides to wait for the children to get on or off the bus. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of bus accidents involving children getting on or off the bus, but it can happen anywhere, as we know, and drivers have to be focused, and those assisting children on the bus, you know, need to be focused as well, and everybody's kind of got to watch out for each other.
Good information. Do you have any other closing comments or thoughts that maybe we didn't cover?
Well, the schools are very prepared. Our school resource officers work with the district. They have to do mandatory lockdown drills 5 times a year, just to prepare for the worst or in any kind of situation. Or even if it's a soft lockdown, where children go into a room because there's maybe police activity outside of the school but not directly related to the school. They practice that. We work with the school district on that. And our police department has a great avenue of communication between the schools where we give information back and forth. And that's very important for the safety of the staff, the children, and our officers, to have those relationships and that communication ongoing.
Okay, well, great. Lockdown, mandatory lockdown drills. I guess I wasn't aware that they had that, and that will add to the mandatory fire drills that the kids go through each year.
So. More school safety.
Yeah. Thanks, John. And remember, as you get your kids back to school, keep in mind September is Emergency Preparedness Month. It's the perfect time to get prepared for weather-related emergencies. Check your smoke and CO detectors and get a family plan in place in case of an emergency.
Don't wait, communicate. That's the message Homeland Security and emergency management officials want people to follow. Make sure to check their website for more information and planning tips.
If kids want to succeed in school, they need to have their basic needs met.
A White Bear Lake organization is helping families in need have a place to call home.
It's evident that Jazzy Foreman loves showing people where she works.
Hi, welcome to Solid Ground.
Solid Ground helps families build strong foundations. Solid Ground's program director, Jazzy Foreman, is a big reason why so many are getting a second chance at life after being homeless.
Homelessness is probably one of the most horrific place anyone can end up when you don't have a lease with your name and a key in a room, in a bed for you and your children to sleep in.
Foreman has been the program director at Solid Ground for a little over 3 years. She serves as kind of a central hub with family advocates and other staff reporting to her. She's always on the go.
This is our front lobby.
She also teaches Solid Ground's DBT classes, which stands for Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, a 6-month class that all residents are required to attend.
There's clients in here. It's really about you and how you communicate, how your relationships are, how your emotions are. A lot of times people think, well, that's just the way I am. I get mad. Well, why do you get mad? How do you behave when you get mad? Some people don't even know how to feel happy because their emotions have been traumatized. So the dialectical behavioral therapy really helps the person get in touch with how they relate, how they behave and respond in their emotional health.
Foreman works closely with the residents and at any moment could be interacting with a child or an adult.
And they said, well, what do you like better, youth or adults? And I said, I really like the family. I get the benefit of the whole family, youth, the babies, the children. 1 minute I can hold the baby. 1 minute I'm encouraging a teenager to go to school and get what they need, because their education is the most important thing. And no one can take your education from you. You're the only person that can deny yourself of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you get to work with the mom and dad or to help them become what they need to be stable and competent as a family. So I think I have the best world.
Foreman keeps up a hectic pace at Solid Ground, but she shows no signs of slowing down or losing her passion to help others.
So when you can be a part of having them be able to have a life again, it's amazing, and it just feels good. These aren't sad tears, these are happy tears, when you can do things like that.
Make sure to visit Solid Ground's website for more information. Coming up after the break,
we'll find out if people are watching Lake Area Beat. Stay tuned to find out what we learned in our Man on the Street segment.
Last month we were checking out the farmers market, and while we were there we decided to mingle with the crowd and find out if our celebrity status extends beyond the studio.
Here's what people had to say. You're local, so you've heard of our show then, right?
I have.
You have?
And what's the name of that show? Our show that we do, we're with the police and fire department, is called Lake Area Beat. Have you ever heard of our show?
No.
Have you ever heard of it? What do you like most about the show?
You guys.
She's lying. She's
Yeah,
never
it's
watched
all
the
right.
show
No.
before.
She was trying to make you feel better.
I think we busted her. Another quiz. What's her name?
Oh, and you told me to.
Okay, I'll give you an easy one. What's my name?
Randy.
Randy. No, Ron.
He's one of the stars on the show. Would you watch knowing that the paramedic is a star? He's also on a calendar.
Oh my.
See?
Uh-oh. You brought.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna put you on the spot and I'm gonna quiz you. If you were to go to Google and type in our show, do you remember what you would
I was
search?
gonna actually ask you for a card to help me out.
Okay, the first word is lake and the last word is beat, and it's
Area.
3 words.
There you go.
You got it. What is it now?
Lake Area Beat.
Lake
Awesome.
Area Beat. There you go. You should tell people that they need to come out here to the farmers market and they need to get their vegetables from.
Costa Farm.
Wonderful.
And when they're not shopping here, they need to watch what show?
The White Bear Beat.
Close enough.
Close.
Lake Area.
Lake Area Beat. That's okay.
Oh, that's great. And don't get your no, I'm just kidding.
I have very.
There's
a lot
plenty of
short-term
other
memory.
vendors out here.
And that was just a pretty fun segment.
That was very fun. And the people were good sports and they were a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, they
We'll
were.
have to do that again.
Yes.
Maybe
let's do it
when
again.
after we've done this 10 more years, see if we are bigger celebrities in 10 additional years. Well, finally in this half hour, police work attracts different people for different reasons. But recently, we police officers got together and showed police prospects just what makes our department very special. Hi there. If you're watching this video, then you're obviously considering a career in law enforcement with the White Bear Lake Police Department. And if you haven't already asked yourself why you want to be a White Bear Lake police officer, here are just a few reasons why. We love to team build in the coolest ways. Don't we?
Yeah, the coolest.
Officers here like to hit it every time. Just ask Officer Tuma.
Yeah, we love to hit it.
Targets at the firing range.
Oh, targets, yep. Hit those two.
We do it for the planet, por dinero, mami. We do it for the planet, por dinero.
We like to go above and beyond everyday duties. Right, Officer George?
Mo, definitely.
We like to drive really fast. Women here play a critical role. Just ask our chief. And unlike popular belief, there is actually more than one of us. So last but certainly not least, my evil twin, Officer Heidi Murphy, or so people think. I could go on and on and on, but you'll just have to find out for yourself. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Seriously?
Seriously?
And who knows, maybe someday you'll find yourself on this side of the camera.
So how did your fellow officers feel about the taping of that segment?
Well, they were pretty good sports about it. You know, in years past, they didn't want to be on the show or be on camera, but they've loosened up a little. So they're having a little fun with themselves and with us, and so I appreciate that.
Clearly, they've loosened up a bit.
They've loosened up, yes. And if you don't catch us on air, make sure to watch us online. You can also stay in touch through our Facebook page.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lake Area Beat. We'll see you next time.